Welcome to the Game of Risk, everyone. I'm your host, OliveXC, a top player at this game. And yes, the ladder is broken forever. I have talked with some players, namely Marin Brambit, subscribed to his YouTube channel, and he came up with some absolutely broken free-for-all settings that can get you a bunch of easy, cheap wins, even better than my previous video that I showed you, and just completely dominate the ladder. These settings are Britannia Advanced, Progressive Capitals, Fog on, Alliances on, 2 players, 1 AI bot, manual setup. You will see that my strategy is that I just focus on taking as many territories on the bottom part of the map. I want to appear as unthreatening as possible to the other players. You'll also notice that I'm capping in that one major territory on the bottom. This territory is extremely overpowered because it's connected to something like 11 or 12 territories. It makes it almost impossible for you to get card blocked, which is key to potentially winning a late game of progressive games. Now, what makes this map particularly good is that there's only a couple very large continents, so it's very difficult for any specific opponent to be snowballing and getting a specific advantage of any given time. It's also very consistent. You can be seeing the bot generally going for the continent on the left of your capital, which means you know that you have a place that can give you easy cards in the future. I also generally see that one opponent likes to go for the island continent on the left-hand side, and then one other opponent likes to go for the top continent. And what you can generally try to do is just get around 12 to 13 territories and focus on just getting those additional troops for yourself, keeping your capital strong, and then waiting for the late game. We can see that because of the strength of a capital, you'll only end up losing maybe 1 or 2 troops on any given attack. It's very unlikely for your opponents to go for your attack, and if you just attack a 1 every single turn, you're going to be able to get to the late game and dominate your opponents. Now, what I try to do in the early game is I try to look at my opponents and identify their overall skill levels. Does an opponent look like they're attacking fast? Are they attacking erratically? Are they keeping their capital in a very smart space or in a very bad space? Do they feel like they take an alliance too seriously? Do they understand the balance of the game? When I make this determination about who is a strong player versus who is a weak player, I then really try to make moves to unofficially or hopefully officially alliance with them so I can get extra vision of the board. Even if I don't have vision, it's very easy to piece out where your opponents are going to be because they'll generally follow continental strategy. Having that extra vision certainly does help. As this game develops, I'm just hoping that I can see an attack take place where one opponent hits the other and gets weak. What I really want to have happen is for one of the players to just either A, full sell and self-destruct into the other player because they get very, very angry. That is a very common win condition. Or B, one player ends up getting very bored of these settings and ends up quitting. The greatest possible scenario is an opponent gives up during the manual selection phase, so it becomes a one-on-one right away. And if that's the case, the game immediately becomes just like a game of pure mechanical skill. These settings are designed to be as consistent as possible, and when I play this for about 2.5 hours, I played something about 10 games or so, and I was 9 and 10. I lost only 1 game because I failed to attack a player early on when they got a continent early, and it quickly devolved into a one-on-one faster than I thought. But anyone that chooses to play these settings very, very often can get good at it very, very quickly. We can see here that the green player's left, which means I now know that's in a one-on-one, and it is my time to strike. I immediately prioritize breaking the purple player everywhere around the board before going back to my capital. I have also recognized that the purple player is most likely going to be in the bottom left region, and this is the power of the capital that I have chosen. It is naturally open and able to attack all over the map, and the bot will constantly work with you in order to break it. I don't care if my opponent gets strong or holds a counter for a couple of turns. I care about my mobility to be able to attack around the map instead. So I'm just going to continue making these attacks, and again, this is basically the easiest way to turn this into a 1v1 right here. This purple player is only getting 5 per turn. They're focused right now on trying to get a continent. I'm focused on trying to go on a cap run or just eliminating the purple player, because once I know that there are just 2 bots in the game, I'll be able to quickly clean it up and take the game right then and there. What I'm also doing is a little technique where I am keeping the green bot to be right next to me, and I'm really hoping that the purple player tries to eliminate the green player, is unable to locate that final territory of green, and then I'll then be able to swoop in, get the green player, and then be able to take the game. And that's what's great about these settings. They're very mechanical because you're constantly trying to think about how to outsmart only like 1 or 2 opponents. They reduce and eliminate luck because you're choosing where you're placing your own territories, right? You're determining your strategy. It's very consistent and predictable because you know what the other players are generally going to be doing with any given strategy. And then like most importantly, if the game doesn't go your way, you can just send your capital for a while, wait till it gets like the super late game, and then try to take it from there. But hopefully what ends up happening is that your opponents end up working like with you and attacking each other because they don't want someone else getting a big continent, or you're able to take the weaker player who takes alliances too seriously into the 1v1. Like these settings, like I think if more people were doing them, it would just completely destroy the parts of the ladder. Most people right now are just playing something like Europe Advanced auto setup with like fog and blizzards, and hope to get a lot of easy wins like that way. But these settings can be even faster and more consistent to get wins, because you may sometimes have a game where an opponent just chooses to break you because they don't understand the balance or how Europe Advanced works. Like these settings are so broken right here. And we can see, like, I am just continuing to trade in. I know in this game the purple player is soon going to be overextending and trying to eliminate green to get their cards. And by me hiding some of the green player right next to me, I'll be able to get that kill instead. Come on, purple player. They're getting 16 per turn, but I don't care about that. That means that I know that the purple player owns most of the board, and there's going to be very little left. You see the timer going, and another technique that I'm doing, I'm looking at the dice. You see that they light up whenever an attack is taking place. This means that the purple player is making multiple attacks right now. The green player should just be in one territory right next to my capital. By keeping that one spot open, I should be able to go for the kill, take out the green player, and then go for a cap run, which is a common way to take the game. A lot of times your opponents won't even recognize how to defend their capitals. You can go for a cap run super early, taking it. This game happened to be a little bit longer, because my opponents were playing a little bit more competently. But you can see I recognized that everything was weak. I go for the cap run, and that's the game right then and there. But I kept playing, experimenting with the settings, and I found that using inactive bots are even better than using the automated bots. Because what happens in a lot of these games is somebody joins, realizes these settings are really, really boring, and gives up right away. So it immediately becomes a 1v1. So I'm just attacking only the purple player right here after getting a capital for myself. I see that purple is trying to hold the continent up top. What they really should be doing is trying to isolate my capitals and prevent me from getting the bonus. But I'm getting 7 per turn owning 2 capitals, while the purple player is only getting 5 per turn. Because that's a 1v1, that's a significant advantage for me. I'm also hoping that the purple player trades in early and ends up potentially giving up as a result. I now even end up getting the purple player's capital, which means that they end up looking to give up right here. And once they give up, all I need to do is take the pink player's capital, and then I'm immediately able to take the game right there. That is how easy these games are once you know what you're doing to get these quick and easy wins. So let me know what you think of these settings in the comments down below. This is OliveXC signing off.